Hey guys, my name is Mara Sullivan and welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about a few things that I would tell my high school self, my teenage self, things that I wish I knew. I don't have any siblings, and so I did not have a big sister, a big brother. Um, I haven't had that my entire life. And so these are a few things that, I wish I knew then that I know now, or that I would tell my little sister or my little brother if I had siblings who were younger than me and are teenagers or were in college. So I hope that you guys get something from this video. I have my glasses on today because I feel like I'm going back to school. Fun fact, I do wear glasses. I just never wear them, which is bad. I do not recommend that. I need to get contacts. I'm actually debating about whether or not to get LASIK next year. I know a lot of people who have gotten LASIK and it has been successful, so knock on wood. Um, we'll see. I think I'm going to eventually just go ahead and get LASIK because I hate wearing glasses and I'm honestly scared. I'm more scared to wear contacts every day than I am to just get LASIK one time just to get it over with. Another story for another day. I will definitely vlog if I get LASIK, but yeah, so we're gonna be jumping into a few things that I wish I knew in high school that I wish I knew as a teenager. I graduated high school in 2015 and I graduated college in 2019, and now I'm here. I'm 26 years old. It has been it's been about 10 years since I was in high school, which makes me feel very old. I graduated high school early, which is why, if you kind of do the math, um, I was only 16 when I graduated high school. I skipped like a grade and a half. The high school I went to was a college prep school, and so they gave us all of our credits early. It was a whole thing, but um, yeah, it's been almost 10 years since I was in high school. That sounds insane. I went to Baltimore City College High School. If you guys are in the Maryland area, you know that it is known as the Castle on the Hill. I had fun in high school. I'm really glad that I went to a college prep school, a high school that was pretty advanced and that, they kind of fast tracked the students. And so I'm glad everything worked out the way it did. And I ended up finishing early. Um, but let me know down below you think if you are in your 20s watching this, let me know down, or if you're older, let me know if you think being a teenager is harder or being in your 20s is harder. Because to me, they're almost equally as hard. The only reason I would say being a teenager is a little bit easier than being in your 20s is because of like the financial part. You're not really paying any bills and you're living home. Um, you have people taking care of you when you're a teenager. Other than that, I think like they're almost equally as hard, in my opinion. Being in your 20s still might just be harder in general. I don't know. Let me know down below if you are older, which you think is harder, being a teenager or being in your 20s. Anyway, the first thing that I wish I knew is that my body would change as I got older. And so I think a lot of us struggle, especially as like preteens and teenagers, with body image. I was no exception. I would say I did struggle more with body image in middle school more than I did in high school. I feel like by the time I got to high school, I had lost like what my family called my baby weight or baby fat. And so um, I was a little bit more confident when I got to high school with my body than I was in middle school and younger. But I wish I could tell myself that my body was going to change um, as a teenager or like as I got older. It's so easy to think that the way your body looks when you're a kid is how it's always going to look. And your body is not anywhere near being as developed as it's going to be. Like you are so not finished growing when you're in high school or when you're a teenager. It is like your body's going to change, so cut yourself some slack, give yourself some grace. um in that same breath, I would also tell myself that what I put in my body is going to matter, like energy wise. I know that a lot of the younger you are, the more you can get away with, honestly, when it comes to what you eat. But I look back in high school and there were moments where I was like sick and where I was so tired. I used to go to like the corner store every single day after school and just literally get what most of us get as kids. I got hot Cheetos and soda and just so much, so just junk food, um, that I didn't realize was affecting my energy and my body, obviously, but more so like energy. Like I remember like and acne. I have, skin that I consider, pretty clear skin. I don't wear makeup at all pretty much ever. I wore makeup, like full face makeup, one time this year, and that was when I was in a wedding. But other than that, on a regular basis, I do not wear makeup. But when I was like 18, 19, I did wear a lot more like foundation, concealer every single day because I didn't like my skin, and I like water and health and all that kind of stuff wasn't talked about when I was in school as much as it is today. So if you are a like high schooler or a teenager watching this, you have so many more advantages now. And I do understand that it's a lot harder because I did not grow up with this phone. Instagram had just become a thing when I got to high school. I got to high school in 2012. That's when I started high school. I was a freshman in 2012. Instagram had just become a thing. And so the whole social media thing was just starting kind of a little bit like when I got to high school. So I didn't really grow up with this as much as you guys did or are right now. And so I know that it is a lot harder where that is concerned. Um, but I would definitely like tell myself to pack my own snacks, to make sure I have a water bottle on hand every single day. Um, Especially if you do extracurricular activities. I look back in high school and I was out for so long. Like I remember waking up at 6. I think most of us do this. Like I was in school, like I woke up at 6, in school by like 7:30 because we had breakfast, and then like there until like classes ended at like 2:33, and then I was just there like doing extracurricular stuff or just hanging out at school till like 5 or 6 o'clock at night. Like I had so much energy, one, and then two, I was just snacking so much. Like I look back in high school, I was not eating a ton of real food. Like I was just snacking on what most of us grew up snacking on, which was Cheetos, and that was like my main thing. I love Flamin' Hot Cheetos, and those jalapeno ones are so good. Honey buns and like that kind of stuff. And it wasn't just, affecting my weight or my body image, it was definitely affecting my skin so much. And I would tell my high school self that because um, a lot of us just aren't taught that growing up. We're not taught that what we put in our bodies affects us. Like we're not taught that it makes as big that it's as big of a deal as it is. Um, Especially not to be stereotypical, but especially black kids are not taught about that stuff because a lot of times our parents don't know or are struggling with health themselves and so aren't able to teach us those things. And so I would definitely like um just be more a little bit more health conscious as a teenager about like what I'm eating every single day, because now that I look back on it, it was literally like grape soda, chips, every single day. When I was For the most part, when I was in school, I was going to the corner store every day with my friends. And so, or the bodega. If you're bougie, you call the corner store a bodega. I'm from Baltimore City. It's a corner store. But um, I would definitely um, just be like a little bit more like health conscious when it comes to what I'm eating every day. Um, when I, you know, am in school, I would take my own snacks. I would definitely take a water bottle. I didn't start carrying a water bottle with me until I got to college. And I would definitely tell my like high school self that because, I look back and like I said, not just like body wise, but definitely skin wise, had a major effect on me. And I think a lot of us deal with acne issues um preteen teenage years. And so I would definitely tell my younger self that what I'm eating is affect like I can have the best skincare in the world, but what I'm eating is affecting my skin. What I'm drinking is affecting my skin. I didn't realize later on that soda does make me break out, and I just didn't put two and two together because, like I said, we're not taught to really pay attention to what we put in our bodies, or at least I wasn't, and a lot of people in my community um, growing up were not taught that. We're just now kind of getting on the health bandwagon, but like I said, growing up in Baltimore City, black families, not to be stereotypical, a lot of them just, are just not super health conscious. And a lot of them are. I don't want, don't come for me in the comments being like, I grew up in a very healthy family. Like, that's not the case for a lot of people, especially a lot of people, in, like I said, who look like me and who were raised, late 90s, early 2000s. Um, and so, yeah, I would definitely be a little bit more health conscious growing up. I would be drinking a lot more water because I drank a lot more soda and juice in school, as most of us do. I mean, as a kid, that's just the stuff you're given, and then once you are a teenager and you get to go to the stores by yourself, that's the stuff you get. Um, Coffees like Starbucks and things like that had just become a thing also when I was in school, and so the most sugary coffees possible is what a lot of me and my friends were also drinking. And I just look back and I'm able to see the effect that it was having on my mood, on my sleep, on my body. My skin, like I said, was the biggest one. I would definitely learn a little bit more about like healthier snacks and carry a water bottle with me. Like I said, this is stuff that's pretty obvious today, but back then it was not. So one, I would remind myself my body is going to change as I get older. So it's okay if I am not, you know, if it doesn't look 100% how I want it to look. Everyone's also, self-conscious in high school. Like we're all kind of in the same place of like just an awkward phase with ourselves and our bodies and just figuring things out. And so give yourself some grace. And also, like I said, start to, make yourself aware of like little healthy habits in high school and start teaching yourself a little bit about, what works for you and what works for your body. Um, the Another thing I would tell myself is if you can get a job, get a job. I know so many people who started working in high school get it like going to the mall and getting a job was like the thing in the early 2000s. Now I don't know. I don't know what you kids do. like, um, I know you could get like a work permit at 14 when I was in school, but I would say to start working. I did like the usual things like babysitting and summer camp jobs um, when I was in school, but I was spending everything that I was making. So that is the part that I would tell you to not do. Get a job, but save what you're making because you're likely not paying bills yet, and you're likely still living in your parents' house. So please take advantage of not having adult quote unquote responsibilities yet, but being able to make money. Save that money because by the time you graduate high school, you are going to wish that you had not spent that money at Abercrombie or just at the mall in the food court and at Starbucks and on the shoes that you think was going to make you look cool. Like you're going to wish that you had saved that money. So please, or if you get allowance too, like um please, please, please save as much as you can the money that you're making. I do highly encourage you to get a job. When you're in high school, you're going to start to learn professional skills. You're going to start to be around people who are a little bit older than you and who you can start to learn from. Before you get to college, you're going to start to figure out what you like and what you don't like, career wise, and what you're good at and what you're not good at, and things that you can take with you into the future as you get older. So I would definitely recommend to get some kind of job. Obviously, it'll probably be a part-time job because you're in school, but start doing some kind of work that you are getting paid for and save that money. Do not blow it all on whatever it is that you like to spend on makeup. Um, I don't know. You guys like buy different things than we probably bought when we were kids, but I know a lot of my money was spent in Hot Topic when I was younger and just at the mall. The malls aren't really a thing much anymore, and so um, I know like Sephora is a big thing for younger kids now. Again, I don't have siblings, and so I don't know what young people are spending their money on these days. But I know like the mall was the thing for us. Um, I would definitely say get a job, and if you are making some money, please, please, please save that money, because you're going to wish that you had it. Even if it's a couple $100s that you have saved up when you graduate, you're going to want it. College is very expensive. If you don't plan to go to college, life is very expensive. Moving out, whatever it is that you want to do with your future, start getting in the habit of saving money now and getting some good skills and habits with money and with spending. Something else I would tell myself is to find something that you love to do and that you just love in general. And it's okay if it's different. I think most of us start to get an idea of what we like and what we're good at and what we want to do with our lives around in those years. I really learned how much I loved books and reading. I really learned that in middle school, and so I was able to carry that with me into high school. And I was very like, English was my favorite class. I fell in love with literature. I fell in love with everything English, reading, writing related. It's where I learned that I had really good, like, strong writing skills. Um, and so I was able to work on that and develop that a little bit in my class. Like, I had English teachers that were saying, like, the way that you write your papers and the way that you answer questions is on a different level. Like, you're really good at that. And that's going to be different for everyone. I had friends who were the same way, but for them it was science. I can't, that's not my thing. I hated biology and chemistry. I failed math class when I got to college, but English and writing is my strong suit. And I learned that and was able to kind of develop that more in high school. I was also a part of the choir. I learned that I do not love to sing. I learned how much I love music, but I do not love to sing. And so I think it's the perfect time to try a ton of different things. I did a little theater, but because I was only on the choir for 1 year, my sophomore year, as my like art class, I think we had to take like one, um, what do you call it? Sometime type of like creative class. Um, my second year, I took film, and it's in that class, and I took film instead of choir. And in that class, I really, really learned how much I love cinematography and how much English and writing and books were related to film and filmmaking, and like that world kind of went together. And now I'm doing this, I'm on camera. And so you never know what you're going to end up using long term. And so whatever it is that you really have an interest in school, when you're in high school, explore that as much as possible, find out about that as much as possible, which is another one of my tips, is to, once you know what you like and have an idea of your interests and things that you think you might want to pursue or take further as you get older, find people who are doing the same thing and learn as much as you can from them. And sometimes those people are not going to be like in your immediate like sphere. It's not going to be people that you know, but you guys have the internet. Again, I didn't get a smartphone until I was in high school, but it was like late high school. You guys get smartphones now as babies. Like, you have so much more information at your fingertips. And so learn um, what the people are who you love, learn what they did to get to where they are. And the sooner that you can learn that or learn from them, the faster you can start, implementing those things into your life to get to where you want to be. It doesn't mean like copying them, it doesn't mean you have to do the same things as them, but learn from the people in the careers and in the spaces that you really have an interest in. Study them, study their lives, study how they got there. Again, you guys have YouTube now, you have podcasts now. Whoever you admire, type their name into the podcast like search bar, listen to their interviews. Do the same thing with YouTube. Type their name into YouTube. Learn their stories, not just their art or not just where they are now. Learn and study how they got there, because that's going to tell you, when you listen to people's interviews and when you watch their documentaries, when you do those things, you're going to learn about where they were at your age. And that is going to be a game changer for you and doing whatever it is that you want to be. You're going to kind of have an advantage because you're going to have, when I look at my microphone, I'm just making sure that it's on. You're going to have an idea of what it takes to get to where you want to be. And so really, really focus on whoever it is that you admire right now, whoever it is that you look up to, whatever interest you think you might have, whether it is you're an athlete or you want to be a professional athlete, you want to be a professional singer, artist, doctor, lawyer, like even if you want to do like a more traditional job, still learn from those people. Learn from, if you want to be a teacher, learn from the teachers. I am currently a nanny. I didn't like know, I knew I wanted to work with kids and I knew I didn't want to be in the classroom. And I knew I've always had a love for babies, as weird as that sounds, not just kids, but babies specifically. I've always loved. And I'm good with them. Like, I'm really, really good with infants. And I didn't know that that's not a skill everyone has. I didn't know until I, started taking nannying jobs, and the families I was working for were telling me, like, not everybody is good at this. I've had moms tell me that they themselves are not good with infants, but they would tell me how good I am with it. And so um, just try a lot of different things that interest you, and you never know how far it's gonna go. Um, and I, nannying isn't something that you would think would be like a major career thing, but I've gotten, I've made more money doing that than I have anything else thus far. And so you never know um, what people are going to pay you for when you're really, 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 how much people are going to pay you to do something when you are really, really good at it. Even if you think that it's a low paying skill, or it's a skill that, your parents might tell you doesn't make any money, you really never know. When you get really, really, really good at whatever it is you want to do or that you like to do, you have no idea how much someone is going to pay you to do it. When you're the best in your field, you'll get paid a lot. So um, just really learn, one, figure out the things that you like to do, get a little list of interest, and find people who are like gifted, mastered doing that, and then study their lives, study their stories, listen to as many interviews with them as you can, read as many of their books as you can, watch as many of their videos as you can. Again, not just what they've already put out into the world and what they're already doing, learn what they did along the way to get them there. Another thing that I would tell myself is that your major in college does not determine your life. Obviously, the most like pressured event about high school is getting into college and getting into a good college. Whatever you feel led to do. I know people taking a gap year is more of a thing now. Not going to college at all is more of a thing now. I actually think college is going to be a thing very, like, not very soon, but soon, that only really, really specific people are like who want very specific careers are going to do, only because the job market now is changing so much, and with this whole social media thing has changed the game completely when it comes to making money. And you can literally make a job out of anything now. It takes a lot of work and it takes some time, but you can get paid for the most part to do anything. And there are a lot of things that you do not need a degree for now. I will say I enjoyed college. My degree is in English. I have a bachelor's in English. um, I will say that if you can go, go. And I mean, like, if you have a family that is going to pay for it, if you have scholarships that are going to pay for it, even if you don't think you're going to use the degree, go for the experience, because you have 4 years of kind of uninterrupted time. You kind of have 4 years of time to do and figure out more about yourself and more about what you want to do and what you want to be. If you feel like you're not going to use your degree, get a degree in something, that might be useful, but it's okay if you're not super pressed about it. Go for the experience. The majority of what you're going to learn in college is stuff that's not related to your degree. It is time management, it is friendships, it's relationships, it's people skills. You're going to learn, like, you're going to be able to take advantage of opportunities and internships, and you're going to learn more about what you're good at. I was told that I was really great in English in high school from my English teachers, and then I was told that even more when I got to college. And hearing it from professors and, people who are more, like, even more skilled in that field really helped me to hone in on getting better at writing and, better at, you know, reading, and I was able to discover even more books and even more pieces of literature. So go for the experience, but what you major in does not determine your entire life. I know a lot of people who have degrees in things that have nothing to do with what they are doing in as a career. Absolutely nothing. but but the things that they learned in college, even though they might be doing something different from their degree, they're still using skills that they learned in college. So go for the experience. Go so that you can learn how to be productive. Go so that you can learn how to not procrastinate. Go so that you can learn, how to make new friends and live away from home if you do that. And go for the experience. If you can go to college, go. Even if you think, like I said, that, you don't need a degree for what you want to do. If financially you can do it, go. Go for the experience, is what I would tell you. Also, when you look good, you feel good. I know I had to kind of work around having a uniform in school, but when you look good, you feel good. And so I didn't really wear much makeup in high school. Like I said, I like my skin was a little off, so I wore it like the latter part of my teenage years. I started wearing more makeup, but there are little things that you can do to, make yourself feel good and look good every day. Do them. If you want to take some time in the morning to do a little makeup, I do not recommend high schoolers wear makeup at all, but I know that a lot of kids today do and really want to, and it makes them feel cute. So if that is you, do your little makeup, get your nails done. Mine are not. um, start teaching yourself how to do your nails. I did that in high school as well. I started buying like press-ons and doing them, and that's something I still do today. I still do not go to the nail salon to get my nails done. um, Start, learning how you like your hair and just feeling cute when you go to school. I think that it's one of that's probably the main place that most of us start developing a style and start thinking about, the clothes that we like to wear. Even when we have a uniform, we all know how to the girls especially, we know how to work around having a uniform. Like we know how to finesse the uniform, okay? With the shoes and the jewelry, the our bags. I remember by the time I got to high school, I wasn't even using a book bag. I was using like a tote bag, like a cute bag. So like, you start developing your style. And know the colors that you like, what looks good on you. And you're a teenager. You can the world is at your fingertips when it comes to accessories. You can get away with anything. And so definitely start honing in on your style and developing your style. I know that your school probably has restrictions. Like there's no way most schools will let you wear like hoop earrings this big. I used to get pulled into the office for my earrings so much because my earrings is the one piece of jewelry that I love. Like I like, especially in high school. Now I pretty much only wear hoop earrings, but in like middle school, high school, I used to love big earrings. I used to get pulled into the office. I remember my principal taking like my earrings like and putting them in the envelope and was like, "You can come back and get them at the end of the day." And I used to do that like repeatedly because I wanted to be a fashion designer, and so I like accessories. I used to go to school with like my huge scarves on and my massive tote bags, and like the shoes would be, I used to wear heels to school. Like, you guys know the show Pretty Little Liars, and it's so funny because that was like the biggest show when I was in like middle school. Um, the girls, how they dressed up to go to high school, a lot of like I was wearing a lot of that stuff, and it was so funny because my friends who I used to watch the show with were like, people do not dress up like that to go to high school. Like those girls, if you know Pretty Little Liars, the way that they went to school, like they went to school like they were on a runway, and that's how most of the shows and movies that we watch about high school, those kids are like really dressed up. And now being older, you're able to look back and be like those were actually 25 and 30-year-old actors, and actresses who are going to school like that. Like, high schoolers do not look like Zac Efron, okay? High schoolers look nothing like Troy Bolton. For them, like, some of them do, but most of them do not. Um, and so, but yeah, start developing your style and getting cute for school. Also, learn as much about the real world as you can. When I say that, I mean that a lot of us, or schools, don't teach you much about life at all. So start learning as much about the real world as you can. When I say that, I mean, like I talked about at the beginning, financial literacy. Start learning how to save your money. Start learning, like I said before, when you start learning from the people who are doing the things that you want to do, or people that you look up to and admire, you're going to start to pick up little life lessons from their lives that you can apply to your own. You're going to start to learn about how life works. You're going to start to learn about how people work. You're going to start to learn about how the world in general works and operates. Because once you leave school, it's going to be not for everyone, but it can be a little bit of a culture shock to step into the real world. And like I said, schools do not teach most of us much about the real world. We don't learn about bills, taxes, how to make new friends, how to be an adult, quarter life crisis. We don't learn about those things in school. So you have to teach yourself. So start, reading personal development books or watching shows, like personal development shows. Like, get into that world early, because you'll be ahead of the game. The more you know about life and about, skills and the personal development world in general, the earlier you know about that, the easier, life will be for you in the long run. The more you learn about health, the younger you are, the easier it'll be to take care of yourself in the long run. I didn't know about clean food, and I didn't know that the ingredients in, the food I was eating mattered as a kid. I didn't know that it was contributing to how tired I was and my mood. And I didn't know that I didn't get great sleep as a teenager because of so many different factors that I know now. The more you can learn about boundaries. Yeah, I know that it's weird. You can't, boundaries are hard as a kid because you are not independent yet. But there are little ways, like, you can learn that, you don't have to be friends with that person. The more you get, like, those are the real life skills you're going to need, is how to tell people no, and how to not put yourself in certain situations that are not good for you. You are going to have to learn, how to not give in to peer pressure. Like, those are skills that you need to know that you're not taught in school. Those are just life experience skills. And so the more you can learn about those things, the sooner the better. It's going to save you, especially if you go to college, because by the time you get to college, you'll have a little bit more of an understanding of, like, okay, that person is bad for me. That person I should probably hang out with, even though they're not super popular. They're obviously, they know what they're doing. So I need to hang around that person. This group of people is good, or that class is going to be good. I should spend my money on that. I shouldn't spend my money on that. Like, start to learn about the real world, quote unquote, before you have to live it. The more you can learn about that, the sooner the better. Like I said, you guys have YouTube. Go watch vlogs with people who are older than you. If you're watching this, I'm 26, so I'm glad you're here. I hope, I share something on my channel that you can learn from, that is going to help you as you get older, which is so weird because I feel so young, and then I talk to teenagers and I'm like, wow, I am old now. Like, that's crazy. Um, but yeah, start to put yourself in environments and learn from people who are a little bit older than you. I didn't realize when I was in school that my teachers are the age that I am now. Like, that is so weird for me to think about. Like, I it's so, like, I have friends who are teachers now, and it's so weird to me because I used to think that they were so old, quote unquote, and I'm like, most most of my friends are like, have the real jobs, but we're still in our 20s, and none of us still knows what we're doing. And it's like, wow, they give us jobs in our 20s. Like someone thought that was a good idea to put people in charge who, brains are so not developed yet. Like it's so funny to me that, like, wow, yeah, it's real interesting. It is very interesting. And as you get older, you learn that the big people, quote unquote, don't know what they're doing either. That is not on my list, but it is something I would tell my younger self. A lot of the big people don't know what they're doing. When I say the big people, I mean the adults. A lot of the adults don't know what they're doing. And so they're not as old as you think they are. Your teachers are not as old as you think they are. They don't have their life together as much as you think they do. Not just your teachers, just the adults in your life in general. Nothing is really as it seems as a kid. I'll put it like that. It's not, for the most part. The big people don't have it together. So I would definitely tell my younger self that. Something else I would say to my younger self is to stop wasting time on boys or girls. I don't know, whatever your preference or gender is. All are welcome here, by the way. But don't. It's pointless as a kid. Almost like I know a few high school sweethearts, but I don't know many that lasted. I know some really solid couples in high school, but not a lot of them lasted. I will say, like, learn. Everything is a learning experience, especially when you're in high school, but don't give it a lot of attention. Really give the majority of your attention needs to be going towards what it is that you like and what it is that you love and what you're getting good at, because that is what you're gonna go off of, into your life after high school, because you're gonna need to live and to work and to, keep developing skills. Really give the majority of your time and attention to whatever it is that you're good at and want to get better at. Find something that you love, or at least a few different interests that you have, so you have an idea of what you want to do and what you want to be in your life. Don't waste time on boys. I wasted so much time in school trying to get a guy to like me, so much energy on kids. I just look back and I'm like, we were like 14, 15 years old. You don't know anything in your 20s, so you definitely don't know anything at like 16, 17. Like it's all just, some things and feelings are very real, and I do believe wholeheartedly that you can love someone that, like, as a kid. I know that you can, but it's not most of the time. It's a waste of time. Just wait. Just wait. I'm going to leave that there, but just wait. My last two things kind of go together, and that is, if you do have an interest in art, in creating, in this kind of thing, start YouTube, start a podcast, start posting TikTok videos. I don't have TikTok. I'm too old for TikTok. I've aged out. I've self-proclaimed aged out of TikTok. Okay, like no, I am old. I like to talk. I like longer form content. A lot of YouTubers who I look up to now started their YouTube channels in high school. And I wish I had done that. I didn't even have a smartphone, so I wouldn't have even known how to do this or how to start. But the sooner that you start, the better. And I know that putting yourself out there as a kid, I know it's a fine line. And so obviously you have to, see if your parents are comfortable with it and do that kind of thing. But the thing about YouTube is, one, it's going to give you experience, but it's also going to give you income. And you're going to start making really good money before you need it. Like before you have bills to pay. And like I said, just so many, like every single influencer who I look up to now, they're so successful now because they started and stayed consistent with YouTube from the time they were 14, 15 years old until now. And so now they're only 24, 23, 24, 25, and they're making over six figures every year because they started in high school. And so, again, find something that you love and really just do it. Just put yourself out there and just do it. There's so many kids on YouTube nowadays. Like I said, I think YouTube is really cool because if you want to be in the entertainment industry, and we all know the horror stories that child actors face and experience, if you want to kind of start that, but your parents aren't comfortable with it, which I totally get. I don't think I would let my kid go to Hollywood as a teenager. Um, YouTube is a way to do that a little bit in a very monitored, self, safe-ish. It's still the internet, but it's a little bit more controlled. Like your parents can be there when you film. Your parents can like monitor you and what you're posting, and they can manage your content and what you're talking about and things like that a little bit more so than being in those like rooms in Hollywood where the doors are closed and people are with you and around you who you don't know. And you can still do that, but if that's your dream, you can still do that. But YouTube is a way to do that as a kid if you have parents that again are not comfortable with you being in that world. Um, if that's something that you want to do. So if you know that you are an artist and you have some type of interest in being a creator, creative, everyone wants to do this now for them. Like so many people want to do this now just because it's a new industry. And this also is not oversaturated. I know so many people who are holding themselves back because they think everything that they want to talk about, everything that they want to do has already been done. YouTube, social media, all the apps just got here. This is a very, very, very new industry. And so it is not too late. Can you imagine if like musicians who come out today thought that the music industry was oversaturated? Like it doesn't make sense to not do what you want to do just because you think there's way too many people already doing it. No one is going to do it the same way as you. No one has your story. No one is going to be able to talk on camera and share things in the way that you're able to do it. And so, if you want to kind of get into this space, I highly recommend doing it. One, you're going to get some experience. Excuse me, guys. Two, you're going to start making some income, and you're going to start making residual income, which is a dream for most people. The sooner you can start doing that, if you can do that, start doing that as a kid. By the time you get older, like you're going to have, like I said, if you are serious about getting financial literate and start learning how to manage your finances, um, you'll just get so many really good skills. But I do recommend starting YouTube, and I like YouTube more so than the other platforms because it's not as like um I don't know, you don't compare yourself as much. There's just so many different videos on people who have like quit social media, quit Instagram, but they're still on YouTube. There's something about this space. I think the longevity part is a really, really big part of it. Um, because, like I said, you can do this now and keep doing it. Like, you can do the same thing with other platforms too. But if you make videos that are timeless and with topics that like people are always going to want to talk about or that people are going to want to watch, and you're in school now, so like your high school routines and things that are helping you in high school, like things that you can share. I think that it is a great idea. Obviously, with parental consent, like your parents have to give you the sign off. But I know so many successful creators who started their channels very young, um, in high school, and they're really, really glad that they did. Danielle Carolyn is one, Kenzie Elizabeth, Brooke Michio. Like there are just so many creators who I look up to and who I have gotten so much inspiration from, and I realize the reason, that they are where they are now, even though we're the same age, they started this over a decade ago. And so the sooner you learn again how to um, start being consistent at what you want to do, you'll learn more about time management. You'll get more comfortable putting yourself out there. If this is something that you see for yourself or want as a career path, do start, you know, just put yourself out there, get your parents' permission, let them watch your videos. I know that it's uncomfortable to do that, but like, make sure they're okay with you doing it. But it is a really cool thing to start. The sooner the better, because this is something that can build over time. And I know there's always like the question of, what if this all goes away one day? And it might. Like, YouTube might not be here forever. Nothing lasts forever, but it there's a good chance that it'll stick around for a while. And so take advantage of it while it's here. um and you never know what it could lead to. Just because you start YouTube doesn't mean you have to stay on YouTube. And so, just play around. Like I said, try everything. um you can, like I said before, get away with things now that you can't later on in life, just because you don't have as many responsibilities right now. And so take advantage of not having to pay bills, take advantage of having a roof over your head that you're likely not paying for. So, just start to getting those habits. If you are in high school, please comment things down below that you are doing right now that are benefiting you. If you are over high school or have already past the teenage years, comment down below what you wish that you knew. Do not forget to subscribe to this channel. Come check me out and hang out with me over on Instagram. My Instagram is at Thoughts by Mara. Check out my podcast at Thoughts by Mara. And I will talk to you guys in my next one. Bye.